Thank you very much, America. We did it! Can you believe it? I honestly kind of can't. I've never felt so alive, which is ironic because I'm not that alive. And tonight, we're not going to stand here and gloat.
The US President-elect Joe Biden has said it's an embarrassment that Donald Trump has not accepted defeat in the election and it will reflect poorly on his legacy. Speaking earlier, he said the transition process was well underway. Our North America editor John Sopel is at the White House. And how frustrated is Joe Biden about the progress with transition?
You know, Sophie, it's exactly...
We have made America safe again, and we will make America great again. Thank you very much.
Heard from the president. Hallie, what do you got?
Well, it's a fairly lengthy statement, Savannah, Chuck, and Lester. It is about 3.5 paragraphs. I won't read the entire thing, but I will read you some highlights, which is that the president is to falsely pose as the winner and that the president is alleging his media allies are trying hard to help him, insisting the election is far from over. This is
President Trump, meanwhile, vowing to fight the election results, saying in a statement the election is, quote, far from over, claiming on Twitter that he won the election. His legal team says it is ready to take its case to court. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell is at the White House for us. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Willie. Like so many things in the Trump era, tradition and typical practice are not in play. So no concession, and instead talk of heading to court tomorrow to litigate the voting process in a number of key states. For now, President Trump remains a fighter.
The president of the United States still has not conceded this race. And if the nation weren't so numb to his antics, it would shake America to its democratic core, and it still might. For perspective, 4 years ago today, President Obama welcomed then-President-elect Trump to the White House, a traditional visit to signal the peaceful transition of power. 4 years ago today, former First Lady Michelle Obama welcomed Melania Trump for tea in the Yellow Oval Room as part of that peaceful transition of power. 4 years ago today, then Vice President Biden welcomed his successor, Mike Pence, to the vice presidential residence as part of that peaceful...
We did a fantastic job with the Senate. I think we're very proud of what's happened there. We had many more seats to defend. They spent almost $200 million on Senate races in South Carolina and Kentucky alone, 2 races, and hundreds of millions of dollars overall against us. At the national level, our opponents major...
Donnie, they're going very, very far in this act that what Donna says is going to happen on January 20th isn't. This is some reporting from Annie Carney in today's New York Times. Vice President Pence messaged today to Senate Republicans per source, I want to keep serving with you as president of the Senate, and I think I will. I mean, what is, have you ever seen this? I mean, I guess Kellyanne Conway blurted it out with my colleague Chuck Todd.
This is without question the latest news conference I've ever had.
Trump is still Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. But I'm optimistic about
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our...
Come back to messy, broken English. So I welcome everybody when we say it dey line now. I just want to tell you thank you. Say you get your time when you take come watch messy, broken English. So another day for messy, broken English don't reach. I just want to tell una how una dey. I hope say everybody dey fine. And I know say I know they miss that part to ask how everybody did because now my concern with that. So may we continue for Messy Broken English. So if you never subscribe to Messy Broken English, you know we won't miss this fantastic video when we say I dey upload every week. Try to subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to put the notification bell because now that bell you will say no whenever I upload video on YouTube. And also, thank you for joining If you never join, don't forget to join Mercy Broken English.
Thank you very much, America. We did it! Can you believe it? I honestly kind of can't. I've never felt so alive, which is ironic because I'm not that alive. And tonight, we're not going to stand here and gloat.
Well, maybe.
We're not rubbing our victory in everybody's face.
But like just a tiny bit.
We're humbly accepting this victory.
Exactly. And I'm just gonna play a quick song on my phone.
Jump up. Wait.
Macho man. I've got to be a macho man.
Unfortunately, there are situations in life, and this is one of them, where there must be a winner and a loser.
Helicopter picked him up. Right in his front yard, helicopter came. Remember that video where he was walking to the helicopter all by himself? No one to be around. Usually he's walking to the helicopter with a bunch of people. No one's around him this time because, you know, he had the Rona. And then he walked right up the steps. You ever see this video? He took his mask off, saluted the helicopter, and then walked right in the house, killed 4 more people.
To provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, suppression reasons, but instead there was a big red wave, and it's been properly acknowledged actually by the media. They were, I think, very impressed, but that was after the fact. That doesn't do us any good. We kept the Senate despite having twice as many seats to defend as Democrats.
The US President-elect Joe Biden has said it's an embarrassment that Donald Trump has not accepted defeat in the election and it will reflect poorly on his legacy. Speaking earlier, he said the transition process was well underway. Our North America editor John Sopel is at the White House. And how frustrated is Joe Biden about the progress with transition?
You know, Sophie, it's exactly 4 years to the day that Barack Obama welcomed Donald Trump to the White House and said, how can I help you? Is there anything I can do to make the transition easier? Nothing like that is happening now. And I thought Joe Biden's voice today was of a bedside doctor holding the hand of the Republican patient and saying, I know you've been through a terrible shock. You will come to terms with it sooner or later. He said that the Republican leadership was mildly intimidated by Donald Trump. Mildly, I would say they are knee-knockingly scared of Donald Trump, and that's why they are going along with this whole recount business. The president himself is tweeting out saying, watch for massive ballot counting abuse. We're a week on from the vote, and that massive abuse, the evidence of it, has not yet been brought forward. So I think that Joe Biden wants to lower the temperature and be patient and say to the rest of the world, we're back on the world stage.
And meanwhile, talking the world stage, Joe Biden made a phone call to Boris Johnson. What was said?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I mean, look, we've had a readout from the British side and a readout from the American side, and a lot of it is blah, blah, blah. The British are pleased that it was the first call to a European leader. Special relationship, box ticked. They talked about defence, they talked about NATO, they talked about security. But trade is the really interesting one, and this is where it's worth a bit of textual analysis. On the British side, it just said, we talked about trade. On the American readout, it said, we talked about trade and reasserted the importance of the Good Friday Agreement. That is a warning shot to Britain about withdrawing from the withdrawal agreement and jeopardising the Good Friday Agreement, that might jeopardise any future US-UK trade deal. And that is something to watch with caution in the weeks and months ahead.
John Sopel.
And special interests, our major donors were police officers, farmers, everyday citizens. Yet for the first time ever, we lost 0 races in the House. I was talking to Kevin McCarthy today. He said he couldn't believe it. 0 races. Very unusual thing, 0. And actually won many new seats with, I think, many more on the way. This was also the year of the Republican woman. More Republican women were elected to Congress than ever before. That's a great achievement. I won the largest share of non-white voters of any Republican in 60 years, including historic numbers of Latino, African American, Asian American, and Native American voters. The largest.
Heard from the president. Hallie, what do you got?
Well, it's a fairly lengthy statement, Savannah, Chuck, and Lester. It is about 3.5 paragraphs. I won't read the entire thing, but I will read you some highlights, which is that the president is to falsely pose as the winner, and that the president is alleging his media allies are trying hard to help him, insisting the election is far from over. This is, frankly, the statement that I think many of the president's critics and even some around him expected him to put out when the race was ultimately called as the direction it appeared to be heading in over the last 24 hours or so for Joe Biden. The president is resisting the results of the election, despite the fact that there has been no widespread evidence of fraud. He is insisting that he will continue moving forward with legal challenges in the courts, and he is blaming, as he has often done over the last 4 years that he's been in office, the news media for something that he simply does not like. The president, as we mentioned, is currently on his golf course. As I'm going through the rest of the statement, the president insists he's not going to rest until the American people have what he describes as an honest vote count. Again, this election process has worked exactly as expected. It took a little while. We knew it was going to take a little while. As Chuck knows, we knew it was going to take a while because of all those mail-in ballots, the ballots that in some states have been gone through. There will be recount fights likely. The Trump campaign has already threatened to do a recount in Wisconsin. We know that's where Georgia has been headed. But this is President Trump, true to what we have seen from him since the campaign started for him back in 2015, 2016, defiant even in the face of the reality that this presidential race has slipped out of his fingers. It is out of his grasp. He will fight to try to get it back. He cannot. It appears the writing is on the wall. Joe Biden has the 270 electoral votes he needs. The question now, can the president actually do anything about that if he refuses to concede? Concession is not a legal requirement. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that President Trump needs to deliver a formal speech calling for unity and handing the reins of power over to Joe Biden. That is a tradition. And if there's one thing we know about this president is that he has not been traditional in the past, and he has bucked that at every turn.
Try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already...
President Trump, meanwhile, vowing to fight the election results, saying in a statement the election is, quote, far from over, claiming on Twitter that he won the election. His legal team says it is ready to take its case to court. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell is at the White House for us. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Willie. Like so many things in the Trump era, tradition and typical practice are not in play. So no concession, and instead talk of heading to court tomorrow to litigate the voting process in a number of key states. For now, President Trump remains a fighter. President Trump's motorcade passed by signs of his defeat Saturday as reaction to the election outcome filled the streets. The president, who had sought fresh air and perhaps solace on the golf course, returned to the White House where he found something to boast about on Twitter. 71 million legal votes, the most ever for a sitting president. While he rounded that vote total upward, his tally is an achievement on its own. Hours earlier, he tweeted a false claim in all caps. I won this election by a lot. In Philadelphia, Trump ally Rudy Giuliani argued that Pennsylvania poll workers may not have separated ballots that arrived after Election Day.
He's not going to concede when at least 600,000 ballots are in question. It's not my job to determine if the ballots are right or not. It's their job.
In a campaign statement, the president complained that calling the race was premature. This election is far from over. Joe Biden has not been certified as the winner of any states. Beginning Monday, our campaign will start prosecuting our case in court. RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel says a Michigan voting software error cost the president votes.
There's serious irregularities here, but give us time to pursue them.
Former Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney writes that voters need this election to be fully litigated to resolve various questions Republicans raised. But Mulvaney adds, I have every expectation that Mr. Trump will be, act, and speak like a great president should, win or lose. And the Trump campaign continues to send out fundraising appeals to raise money for this litigation. The fine print also shows that that money could be used to retire campaign debts. Now, no states have officially certified their results as of now, but expect in the days to come Republicans to put more pressure on the president to recognize.
But we think there'll be a lot of litigation because we can't have an election stolen like this. And I tell you, I have been talking about this for many months with all of you, and I've said very strongly that mail-in ballots are going to end up being a disaster. Small elections were a disaster. Small, very easy to handle elections were disastrous. This is a large-scale version, and it's getting worse and worse every day. We're hearing stories that are horror stories, absolute horror stories. And we can't let that happen to the United States of America. It's not a question of
12 years ago today, George W. Bush welcomed President-elect Obama to the Oval, to the White House, as part of the peaceful transition of power. But today, instead of welcoming President-elect Joe Biden to the White House to signal a peaceful transfer of power, President Trump, who lost the election, is in the White House, getting very mad at his television set, if accounts by sources to CNN in the past few days are any indication. He is refusing to cooperate with the peaceful transition of power that is the bedrock of our democracy, while also refusing to try and slow down a pandemic that is now worsening at an alarming rate and killing Americans, thousands of them. And instead of a badly needed intervention, his biggest enablers are once again bowing to the insecurities of a lame duck, the sycophants on television who get rich inflaming the tensions on the ground from their orbit of Planet Trump, and his enablers at the highest levels of government. Like Attorney General Bill Barr, who is launching a DOJ investigation into widespread election fraud, with the only evidence being the president's hurt feelings. Richard Pilger, who is the head of the DOJ office that prosecutes election crimes, or was, just quit in protest. Barr is no stranger to doing Trump's bidding despite its dangers to the country. His list of acts in service of Planet Trump is long and questionable. Misleading the public about the findings of the Mueller investigation, trying to prevent a whistleblower complaint about the president's phone call asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden from going to Congress, intervening in the Michael Flynn case, intervening in the Roger Stone case, firing the head of the Southern District of New York while he was investigating Trump's inner circle, trying to have the DOJ represent the president in a lawsuit brought by E. Jean Carroll, who alleges the president raped her in the 1990s, deploying federal troops to forcibly remove protesters so the president could pose for a photo op by the White House, and personally spending $30,000 for a holiday party at Trump's D.C. hotel, repeatedly spreading disinformation about mail-in voting and suggesting that communities that don't respect police will lose police protection. As if that's not enough, Barr has been compelled to shower the president with praise.
He's very easy to work with. He has a good sense of humor. He's very direct. He's accomplished a lot in the face of great resistance.
And he says that
the president went out at the beginning of this thing and really was statesmanlike. Politicization of decisions like the hydroxychloroquine has been amazing to me.
But on Planet Trump, loyalty is demanded by the president, though not repaid. The president attacked Barr in recent weeks for not prosecuting his political enemies.
Unless Bill Barr indicts these people for crimes, the greatest political crime in the history of our country, Bill Barr is going to go down either as the greatest attorney general in the history of the country, or he's going to go down as a very sad situation.
In the Senate, Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is refusing to recognize the winner of this race.
President Trump is 100% within his rights to look into allegations of irregularities and weigh his legal options.
It's downright weird that McConnell is fueling the president's baseless claims about a fraudulent election, though, as he believes in the results enough to pose with new senators yesterday whose wins were recorded on the same ballots as Joe Biden's. The Republican senators who are still silent about Biden's win, they're enablers too. And here is the list. We're going to leave this up for a second because it is rather long. But if a GOP senator is not named Romney, Sass, Murkowski, or Collins, they're on this list, where the sound of silence is more abundant than that Simon and Garfunkel song where the duo wrote about silent masses who didn't use their voices. Quote, "And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made," end quote, that they made. These senators, who are not powerless, they're just afraid of the consequences of using their power, which is where courage comes in. And so far, at least, they lack the courage to serve their country over their party. The president's children are supporting their father's flailing attempt to upend a legal election outcome. Melania Trump and Jared Kushner have advised Trump to consider accepting the election loss, but Kushner, it appears, has also moved on to advice the president might actually take, suggesting that he hold rallies pushing for a recount, as has Rudy Giuliani and campaign aide Jason Miller. Now, yesterday, I compared that trio to the buds who take their heartbroken friend, who can't understand that a majority of America just isn't that into him, out to a bar after a bad breakup. But the longer this constitutional foolishness drags on, the more they're like a band of hooligans driving their friend directly to the ex's house, holding a boombox, blasting Peter Gabriel. Except this time, it's not going to work out for Lloyd Dobler. The voters have spoken. Trump can't just say anything. He's got to accept the truth. But he has so much help in avoiding that. And his biggest enabler is, of course, Fox.
We don't know how many votes were stolen on Tuesday night. We don't know anything about the software that many say was rigged. We don't know. We ought to find out.
And there's no question that mass mail-in voting, it's been an unmitigated disaster. We must never again allow Democrats to foist this on our country, given what we're seeing days and days later.
They want you to believe that this week's vote, insane vote counting process is totally normal and it's above board. Do you really believe that? They want you to ignore the irregularities, the lack of transparency, the serious instances where the law was broken.
Biden's campaign says they're defending the election. They deny what they're really doing, which is stealing it.
But even on Fox, the jig is up, man. Neil Cavuto couldn't keep up with the charade.
Well, I just think we have to be very clear. She's charging, the other side is welcoming fraud and welcoming illegal voting. Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this.
Now later, his colleague took a veiled shot at him for that.
In a democracy, you cannot ignore honest questions from citizens. You're not allowed. You can't dismiss them out of hand as crazy or immoral for asking. You can't just cut away from coverage you don't like.
You can cut away from speech that is dangerous lies. In fact, you should. And in a democracy, you can't just ignore votes from citizens in the name of entertaining so-called honest questions, as he put it, that are actually based on conspiracy theories about voter fraud. The mixed messages from Fox underscore how Trump's hold on the network is slipping away, at least for some there, just like his days in the White House. But for Fox Primetime, perhaps it's not a surprise, they're sore losers. In 2016, they were also sore winners as they aligned themselves with Trump acolytes.
Hillary Clinton is still refusing to accept the real reason she lost to President-elect Donald Trump. Now, instead of just acknowledging that she was a terribly flawed, corrupt candidate with a very long track record of failure and a large majority of American voters didn't like, thought was dishonest, Hillary Clinton is now blaming everything but herself for her election loss.
They have to decide whether they're going to interfere with him finishing his business, interfere with the peaceful transfer of power to President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect Pence, or if they're going to be a bunch of crybabies and sore losers about an election that they can't turn around.
What you said and what the left is doing is you're advancing a false conspiracy theory as to why you lost. You can't accept responsibility. The sore loser left acting like spoiled little brats. They didn't get what they wanted for Christmas, so now they're going to ruin the holiday for everyone else.
It's a sore loser in Barack Obama trying to delegitimize the election of Donald Trump, who is our president-elect, who won fair and square, 306 electoral college votes. This wasn't even close.
Of 300,000 and Michigan, we're way up in Michigan, won the state. And in Wisconsin, we did likewise fantastically well. And that got whittled down. In every case, they got whittled down. Today, we're on track to win Arizona. We only need to carry, I guess, 55% of the remaining vote, 55% margins, and that's a margin that we've significantly exceeded, so we'll see what happens with that, but we're on track to do okay in Arizona. Our goal is to defend the integrity of the election. We will not allow the corruption to steal such an important election, or any election for that matter, and we can't allow anybody to silence our voters and manufacture results. I've been doing a lot of public things for a long time. I've never had anything that's been as inspirational, by people calling, talking, sending things to us. I've never seen such love and such affection and such spirit as I've seen for this. People know what's happening, and they see what's happening, and it's before their eyes. And there are many instances which will be reported very shortly. There's tremendous litigation going on, and this is a case where they're trying to steal an election. They're trying to rig an election, and we can't let that happen. Detroit and Philadelphia, known as two of the most corrupt political places anywhere in our country, easily cannot be responsible for engineering the outcome of a presidential race, a very important presidential race. In Pennsylvania, Democrats have gone to the state Supreme Court to try and ban our election observers, and very strongly. Now, we won the case, but they're going forward. They don't want anybody in there. They don't want anybody watching them as they count the ballots. And I can't imagine why. There's absolutely no legitimate reason why they would not want to have people watching this process, because if it's straight, they should be proud of it. Instead, they're trying, obviously, to commit fraud. There's no question about that. In Philadelphia, observers have been kept far away, very far away, so far that people are using binoculars to try and see, and there's been tremendous problems caused. They put paper on all of the windows so you can't see in, and the people that are banned are very unhappy and become somewhat violent. The 11th Circuit ruled that in Georgia, the votes have been in by Election Day, that they should be in by Election Day, and they weren't. Votes are coming in after Election Day. And they had a ruling already that you have to have the votes in by Election Day. To the best of my knowledge, votes should be in by Election Day. And they didn't do that. Democrat officials never believed they could win this election, honestly. I really believe that. That's why they did the mail-in ballots, where there's tremendous corruption and fraud going on. That's why they mailed out tens of millions of unsolicited ballots without any verification measures whatsoever. And I've told everybody that these things would happen because I've seen it happen. I watched a lot of different elections before they decided to go with this big, massive election with tens of millions of ballots going out to everybody, in many cases totally unsolicited. This was unprecedented in American history. This was by design, despite years of claiming to care about the election security. They refused to include any requirement to verify signatures, identities, or even determine whether they're eligible or ineligible to vote. People are walking in there. They have no idea. They're just taking numbers. They're writing down things, the workers, and doing a lot of bad things. And we have a lot of information coming and litigation that you'll see that will shake even you people up, and you've seen it all. The officials overseeing the counting in Pennsylvania and other key states are all part of a corrupt Democrat machine that you've written about, and for a long time you've been writing about the corrupt Democrat machine. I went to school there, and I know a lot about it. It hasn't changed. It's a long time ago, and hasn't changed. It's gotten worse. In Pennsylvania, partisan Democrats have allowed ballots in the state to be received 3 days after the election. And we think much more than that. And they're counting those without even postmarks or any identification whatsoever. So you don't have postmarks, you don't have identification. There have been a number of disturbing irregularities across the nation. Our campaign has been denied access to observe any counting in Detroit. Detroit is another place, and I wouldn't say has the best reputation for election integrity. Poll workers in Michigan were duplicating ballots, but when our observers attempted to challenge the activity, those poll workers jumped in front of the volunteers to block their view so that they couldn't see what they were doing. And it became a little bit dangerous. One major hub for counting ballots in Detroit covered up the windows again with large pieces of cardboard. And so they wanted to protect and block the counting area. They didn't want anybody seeing the counting, even though these were observers who were legal observers that were supposed to be there. In Detroit, there were hours of unexplained delay in delivering many of the votes for counting. The final batch did not arrive until 4 in the morning. And even though the polls closed at 8 o'clock, so they brought it in, and the batches came in, and nobody knew where they came from. We've also been denied access to observe in critical places in Georgia. In multiple swing states, counting was halted for hours and hours on election night, with results withheld from major Democrat-run locations only to appear later, and they certainly appeared, and they all had the name Biden on them, or just about all. I think almost all. They all had the name Biden on them, which is a little strange. I challenge Joe and every Democrat to clarify that they only want legal votes, because they talk about votes, and I think they should use the word legal votes. We want every legal vote counted, and I want every legal vote counted. We want openness and transparency, no secret count rooms, no mystery ballots, no illegal votes being cast after Election Day. You have Election Day, and the laws are very strong on that. You have an Election Day, and they don't want votes cast after Election Day, and they want the process to be an honest one. It's so important. We want an honest election, and we want an honest count, and we want honest people working back there, because it's a very important job. So that's the way this country is going to win. That's the way the United States will win. And we think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court.
The president of the United States still has not conceded this race. And if the nation weren't so numb to his antics, it would shake America to its democratic core, and it still might. For perspective,
in our history, we grew our party by 4 million voters, the greatest turnout in Republican Party history. Democrats are the party of the big donors, the big media, the big tech, it seems, and Republicans have become the party of the American worker, and that's what's happened. And we're also, I believe, the party of inclusion.
4 years ago today, President Obama welcomed then President-elect Trump to the White House, a traditional visit to signal the peaceful transition of power. 4 years ago today, former First Lady Michelle Obama welcomed Melania Trump for tea in the Yellow Oval Room as part of that peaceful transition of power. 4 years ago today, then Vice President Biden welcomed his successor, Mike Pence, to the vice presidential residence as part of that peaceful transition of power.
Election interference from big media, big money, and big tech. As everybody saw, we won by historic numbers. And the pollsters got it knowingly wrong. They got it knowingly wrong. We had polls that were so ridiculous, and everybody knew it at the time. There was no blue wave that they predicted. They thought there was going to be a big blue wave. That was false.
They're going very, very far in this act that what Donna says is going to happen on January 20th isn't. This is some reporting from Annie Carney in today's New York Times. Vice President Pence messaged today to Senate Republicans per source, "I want to keep serving with you as president of the Senate, and I think I will." I mean, what is, have you ever seen this? I mean, I guess Kellyanne Conway blurted it out with my colleague Chuck Todd when she said, alternative facts, alternative reality.
Yeah, it's not hard to figure out why. You know, Donald Trump will be controlling the 20% that votes in every primary going forward, and every politician knows that. And this is kind of like the blood identity thing. You know, Trump is an idea more than even Trump. And it's basically, you don't want to be in a position a year, 2 years, 3 years from now where you weren't part of this club that made the last stand. The bottom line is, and everybody needs to relax, and Frank's, served this up really, really well. Donald Trump will be leaving office January 20th. And the reason, to make you maybe feel a little better about why this is happening, Donald Trump, and Nicole, I talked about this a couple of months on the show. I talked about it right after it was a chance he was going to be leaving after the impeachment. Donald Trump is in pre-production right now. Donald Trump is going to be starting the Trump Revolutionary Network, a subscription model. He's already trademarked telerallies. They actually trademarked that term, that it's a subscription model. He'll charge, even if it's only 10 of the 70 million people, $6 a month, $7 a month. That's $1 billion a year. And if you're in pre-production for that, if you're Donald Trump, what's more compelling? If you were a loser, and we know that that's his biggest fear of being a loser, or aggrieved and you stole the election and you actually held onto that furniture and they literally dragged you out of the office. If you were pre-producing Donald Trump's next act, this is what you would be doing. So the Republicans and the TV hosts are just toxic recipients of Donald Trump, of the residue of Donald Trump's next act. And when you understand why he's doing it, he probably doesn't think he's holding on to power. The other people are being duped along with him. He'll move on to his next venture because that's what this is all about. Nothing more. If you understand that, you can relax a little bit.
I wish I had your confidence in that he's accepted that that's what he's moving on to. And I guess, Donnie, if I could just press a little further down this road, a Trump ally and supporter said to me, sort of between election night and the networks calling it, that Donald Trump's greatest pleasure out of being president had nothing to do with the presidency or the country. It was the relevance. Suddenly, he was relevant in a way that he had never been able to achieve relevance as sort of a B-level reality TV figure and a, only moderately successful real estate guy who squandered a lot of his inheritance. And so I guess what you're saying is in line with what this Trump ally said, that he's going to find a path to hanging on to relevance. But my question is, why is everyone going along? I mean, why is Pence going along with that? Obviously, he's not going to get the 8 o'clock and Trump gets the 9 o'clock hour.
Well, Pence is going along with it because he's going to run for president someday. And he's going to have to get through that 20% of the fringe of the party that's going to be voting. And if Donald Trump says this guy didn't stand next to me, he's not getting through that barrier. It's very simple. It's basically people wanting their next jobs. It's not hard to figure out. Donald Trump does have control of that. If he stands up at the next primary, forget whether he's going to run or not, and says, this guy was not part of the club, he's out. He's not winning a primary. It's that simple. Forget about a general election. And, to speak about the relevance, when Donald Trump now is like that bully in the movie, that when they're finally unmasked in the lunchroom and everybody moves away from them and they're left by themselves and, that kind of sadness and now they look pathetic and defanged, that's his biggest fear. And that's why he's Donald Trump's not going away, kids. He's not going to have the power, but Donald Trump will be speaking to anywhere between 10 and 70 million Americans every day. And the media, this media outside of Fox, has got to be disciplined when ratings kind of maybe drop off in March and April, and we're talking about infrastructure, not to put the heroin back in and go after and cover it. Let them just stay in their own little bunker over there.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.
By 12.2 points. And they also won Ohio, great state of Ohio, very easily. The Washington Post said Biden up 17 points in Wisconsin, and it was basically even. They were off by about 17 points. And they knew that. They're not stupid people. They knew that. Suppression. There are now only a few states yet to be decided in the presidential race. The voting apparatus of those states are run in all cases by Democrats. We were winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. And then our numbers started miraculously getting whittled away in secret. And they wouldn't allow legally permissible observers.
We have made America safe again, and we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Pennsylvania. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Thank you. Thank you.
Easily. So They had me losing Florida by a lot, and I ended up winning Florida by a lot. Other than that, they were very accurate. They had him up 4 points in Ohio, and they were.
Jump up, wait. 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 Jump up. Wait. Jump up. Jump up. Jump up. Jump up. Wait. 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 Jump up. Jump up. Jump up. Jump up.
Court in a couple of instances, and we were able to get the observers put in. And when the observers got there, they wanted them 60, 70 feet away, 80 feet, 100 feet away, or outside the building to observe people inside the building. And we won a case, a big case, and we have others happening. There are lots of litigation, even beyond our litigation. There's tremendous amount of litigation generally because of how unfair this process was. And I predicted that. I've been talking about mail-in voting for a long time. It's really destroyed our system. It's a corrupt system. And it makes people corrupt even if they aren't by nature. But they become corrupt. It's too easy. They want to find out how many votes they need, and then they seem to be able to find them. They wait, and then they find them. And you see that on election night. We were ahead in vote in North Carolina by a lot, tremendous number of votes. And we're still ahead by a lot, but not as many, because they're finding ballots all of a sudden. Oh, we have some mail-in ballots. It's amazing how those mail-in ballots are so one-sided, too. I know that it's supposed to be to the advantage of the Democrats, but in all cases, they're so one-sided.
The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
This is without question the latest news conference I've ever had. I appreciate it very much. I want to thank the American people for their tremendous support. Millions and millions of people voted for us today. And a very sad group of people is trying to disenfranchise that group of people. And we won't stand for it. We won't stand for it. I want to thank the First Lady, my entire family, and Vice President Pence, Mrs. Pence, for being with us, all three of us. And we were getting ready for a big celebration. We were winning everything, and all of a sudden it was just called off. The results tonight have been phenomenal, and we are getting ready. I mean, literally, we were just all set to get outside and just celebrate something that was so beautiful, so good. Such a vote, such a success. The citizens of this country have come out in record numbers. This is a record. There's never been anything like it. To support our incredible movement. We won states that we weren't expected to win. Florida, we didn't win it. We won it by a lot. We won the great state of Ohio. We won Texas. We won Texas by 700,000 votes, and they don't even include it in the tabulations. It's also clear that we have won Georgia. We're up by 2.5% to 117,000 votes with only 7% left. They're never going to catch us. They can't catch us. Likewise, we've clearly won North Carolina. We're up 1.4%. Or 77,000 votes with only approximately 5% left. You can't catch us. We also, if you look and you see Arizona, we have a lot of life in that. And somebody declared that it was a victory for, and maybe it will be. I mean, that's possible. But certainly there were a lot of votes out there that we could get because we're now just coming into what they call Trump territory. I don't know what you call it, but these were friendly Trump voters. And that could be overturned. The gentleman that called it, I watched tonight. He said, well, we think it's fairly unlikely that he could catch. Well, fairly unlikely. And we don't even need it. We don't need that. That was just a statement we would have gotten. It would have been nice, Arizona. But there's a possibility, maybe even a good possibility. In fact, since I saw that originally, it's been changed and the numbers have substantially come down just in a small amount of votes. So we want that obviously to stay in play. But most importantly, we're winning Pennsylvania by a tremendous amount. We're up 600. Think of this. We're up 690,000 votes in Pennsylvania. 600,000. These aren't even close. It's not like, it's close. With 64% of the vote in, it's going to be almost impossible to catch. And we're coming into good Pennsylvania areas where they happen to like the president. So we'll probably expand that. We're winning Michigan, but I'll tell you, I looked at the numbers. I said, whoa. I said, wow, that's a lot. By almost 300,000 votes. And 65% of the voters in it. And we're winning Wisconsin. So we don't need all of them. We need, because when you add Texas in, which wasn't heading, I spoke with the really wonderful governor of Texas just a little while ago, and Greg Abbott, he said, congratulations. He told me to congratulate me on winning Texas. I mean, if we won Texas, I don't think they finished off the tabulation, but there's no way. And it was almost complete, but he congratulated me. And he said, by the way, what's going on? I've never seen anything like this. And I tell you what, nobody has. So we won by 107,000 votes with 81% of the vote. That's Michigan. So when you take those three states in particular, and you take all of the others, I mean, we have so many, we had such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. So they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this, Newton? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory. 377 votes. Texas, as we said. Ohio. Think of this. Ohio, a tremendous state, a big state. I love Ohio. We won by 8.1%, 460. Almost 500,000 votes. North Carolina, big victory with North Carolina. And so we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list. Okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment. And we will win this. And as far as I'm concerned, we already have won. So I just want to thank you. And I want to thank all of our support. I want to thank all of the people that worked with us. And Mr. Vice President,
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join you in thanking more than 60 million Americans who have already cast their vote for 4 more years for President Donald Trump. And while the votes continue to be counted, we're going to remain vigilant, as the President said. The right to vote has been at the center of our democracy since the founding of this nation, and we're going to protect the integrity of the vote. But I really believe with all my heart, with the extraordinary margins, Mr. President, that you've inspired.
Before election, Quinnipiac, which was wrong on every occasion that I know of, had Joe Biden up by 5 points in Florida, and they were off by 8.4 points, and I won Florida.
Now, Collins, right there, by the way, was sentenced to prison for insider trading. Even Vladimir Putin, who is still silent on Biden's win, had something to say about sore losers in 2016.
The Democrats lost once again, and they're looking for someone who's guilty of this. I think this is simply humiliating for themselves. one has to know how to lose decently.
Even President Trump has made that clear as he addressed this very topic during a Thanksgiving turkey pardoning at the White House, where a turkey named Carrots refused to concede to the winner.
The winner of this vote was decided by a fair and open election conducted on the White House website. This was a fair election. Unfortunately, Carrots refused to concede and demanded a recount, and we're still fighting with Carrots. And I will tell you, we've come to a conclusion. Carrots, I'm sorry to tell you, the result did not change.
Too bad for Carrots. But who's the turkey?
For Mr. Biden and diminish Republicans' ability to raise funds. They were what's called suppression polls. Everyone knows that now. And it's never been used to the extent that it's been used on this last election. To highlight just a few examples, media polling was election interference in the truest sense of that word by powerful special interests. These really phony polls, I have to call them phony polls, fake polls, were designed to keep our voters at home, create the illusion.
Trump is still your president!
It's legal for them to count votes in Pennsylvania 2 days after the election on November 3rd?
Yes.
You're wrong. Go. I don't even want to talk to you.
I believe that Donald Trump won the election. I believe that they tried to steal the election.
Stop the Steal, a movement of Trump supporters that gained hundreds of thousands of followers online in the hours after the election, has inspired protests across the country.
The ballots that you said you saw are lying around the place or in trash cans or whatever, where are you hearing that from?
I mean, the videos are going viral everywhere. I've seen them on TikTok, I've seen them on Facebook, I've seen them on Fox News, I've seen them on the local news around my area.
I've seen too much pieces of different evidence so far that shows that at this point I would be okay with a revote.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. When you have video footage of people taking bags of ballots and showing that they are for Donald Trump and lighting them on fire.
I helped write a fact check on CNN on that particular video. The election officials said that video has been going around for a few days. They are printout ballots, they're not real ballots.
So you use the information of the election officials?
Somebody like me comes along, tries to research it, tries to fact check it, and then I fact check it. You'll come back and say, well, the election officials would say that.
But wouldn't they, though? That's the thing, though. Question everything, right?
You are not going to steal this election from us.
The video actually showed sample ballots, not real ballots. The video's assertion is false, but even the president's son tweeted it to his millions of followers. Election officials in Virginia, where the sample ballots were from, told CNN they had spent days trying to correct the online misinformation.
When we went to bed on election night, when they told us they stopped counting, we woke up and there was a vertical spike right for Biden, 130,000 votes approximately. That's when I knew there was a problem.
Now, as my buddy Steve Bannon says, if you're going to lie, be believable about it. Because you do not have 138,000 votes come in and 135,000 of them come in for Biden.
This is what I think you guys might have been talking about on election night, Michigan, 138,000. This was from a website called Decision Desk HQ. They came out and they said, we messed up, there was an error in how votes came back and reported, and that's why there was this spike in the map. But, you know, the election officials in Michigan then all confirmed to say, yes, there was this error, they are not real ballots, those ballots never existed.
President Trump himself even shared a post about the Michigan error. Twitter labeled his post as misinformation.
Are you concerned that just as how people on the left can fall for misinformation, that maybe sometimes you...
Oh, I'm sure, yes. I'm very thorough with the information I look at. I have my opinions, obviously, but I'm not just gonna go around retweeting blatantly false information or things that I believe that are just, I look at things that are suspicious.
Some people at the protest told us the delays in news outlets projecting a winner contributed to their belief that Biden stole the election.
America first, or else it's going to be America last.
You don't think there's any way Trump could have lost?
No.
Really?
Yeah. How do you go from almost losing 200,000 in 5 hours, you're down to 30,000 votes away from winning?
A lot of Democrats voted in the mail, they voted absentee, they voted before Election Day. And in a lot of states, those Election Day votes got counted first. That's why Trump had that early lead. And then once those other votes started getting counted, that is how Biden caught up and
so
overtook.
Where are all the Trump ballots that were mailed in? Why are we finding them laying around in different places?
But Trump was telling everybody not to mail it in, right? That's why there's so much more mail-in Democratic votes,
no? No.
Many of the false claims alleging voter fraud spread on social media. Facebook and Twitter labeled some as misinformation.
I think that's wrong. I think that's not their place. We're like one big science experiment for social media. If I'm seeking a certain viewpoint and they seem to see that I favor that viewpoint more, that's the viewpoint that they're going to feed me. And then the other side's going to get a different viewpoint.
Does that concern you as a Facebook user?
I mean, it concerns me, yes, because of the fact that unfortunately people fail to think for themselves. They feed into everything that they're seeing without questioning.
We were up by nearly 700,000 votes in Pennsylvania. I won Pennsylvania by a lot, and that gets whittled down to, I think they said now we're up by 90,000 votes, and they'll keep coming and coming and coming. They find them all over, and they don't want us to have any observers. Although we won a court case, the judge said you have to have observers. Likewise in Georgia, and they're appealing. Actually, they're appealing. We won a case that we want people to watch, and we want observers, and they're actually appealing, which is sort of interesting. I wonder why they'd appeal, that all we want to do is have people watch as they do the vote tabulations. Likewise in Georgia, I won by a lot, with a lead of over getting close to 300,000 votes on election night in Georgia. And by the way, got whittled down. And now it's getting to be to a point where I'll go from winning by a lot to perhaps being even down a little bit. In Georgia, a pipe burst in a faraway location, totally unrelated to the location of what was happening. And they stopped counting for 4 hours. And a lot of things happened. The election apparatus in Georgia is run by Democrats. We also had... This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Joe Biden and Donald Trump speak out as election night leaves the presidential results up in the air.
We knew this was going to go long. But who knew we're going to go into maybe tomorrow morning, maybe even longer. But look, we feel good about where we are. We really do. I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election.
Democratic presidential candidate Biden gave a short speech to a crowd of supporters at a drive-in gathering outside the Chase Center in Wilmington, Delaware, where he said he felt confident about winning Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania.
It ain't over till every vote is counted, every ballot is counted. But I'm optimistic about this outcome. And I want to thank every one of you who came out and voted in this election. Keep the faith, guys. We're going to win this.
Shortly after Biden spoke, President Donald Trump addressed the nation from the White House. And while the outcome of the election remained unclear, he claimed victories in states where the results had not yet been decided. States like Georgia and Pennsylvania, where millions of ballots had yet to be counted.
It's also clear that we have won Georgia. We're up by 2.5% or 117,000 votes with only 7% left. They're never going to catch us. They can't catch us. But most importantly, we're winning Pennsylvania by a tremendous amount of votes.
Trump also alleged this election was ripe with voter fraud, and he claimed he planned to take it to the Supreme Court.
This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list. Okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this. And as far as I'm concerned, we all look at Brad, Joe, myself. We can't let that happen to our country. We can't be disgraced by having something like this happen. So it will be hopefully cleared up, maybe soon, I hope soon, but it'll probably go through a process, a legal process. And as you know, I've claimed certain states, and he's claiming states, and we can both claim the states, but ultimately I have a feeling judges are going to have to rule. But there's been a lot of shenanigans, and we can't stand for that in our country. Thank you very much.
It's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. But I'm optimistic about this outcome.
Really much more competitive states. We did a fantastic job with the Senate. I think we're very proud of what's happened there. We had many more seats to defend. They spent almost $200 million on Senate races in South Carolina and Kentucky alone, 2 races, and hundreds of millions of dollars overall against us. At the national level, our opponents' major donors were
the confidence, the swagger, a president like no other.
Together, we will make America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
But the protests at his inauguration were ominous portents. For Donald Trump, nothing succeeded like division.
I will build the greatest wall that you've ever seen.
Such a nasty woman.
Trust fund.
He defeated the favorite and survived scandals that would have sunk most campaigns.
I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet.
And so began an insurgency that appalled the establishment and thrilled his supporters. Trump was born in New York, the son of a real estate tycoon. He attended military academy, yet avoided Vietnam.
Hired.
The Apprentice live grand finale.
The reality TV star.
You're fired.
But before The Apprentice, there was already The Donald, a legend of his own making, built on a property empire and a love of controversy.
He said, I think Donald Trump is an artful liar. I think he is a greedy, vicious, and arrogant man.
Well, I don't know, is that supposed to be a compliment or not?
The President of the United States of America.
High office never did dilute the essence of Trump. For the first time in generations, America's foreign policy took an isolationist turn.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
He shoved aside NATO leaders and went where no president had gone before.
You will be the first U.S. president to cross the line.
I'd be very proud to do that. Okay, let's do it. Come on.
Over the border into communist North Korea. Trump showed a preference for dictators over Democrats. And when Britain laid on a royal welcome, Trump offended protocol by stepping in front of the Queen. America first, indeed. At home, he cut taxes and the stock market boomed. In Congress, he survived impeachment and ruled by Twitter decree. In one typical salvo, he declared himself a very stable genius, while critics were dismissed with 2 words.
You are fake news.
Harder to dismiss America's widening racial divide and a resurgent far right.
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Then the dying words of George Floyd gave rise to the powerful Black Lives Matter movement.
George Floyd! George Floyd!
Trump's response to send riot police to clear a path outside the White House so he could pose for the most surreal photo call of his presidency. All this in the midst of the pandemic. COVID-19 put America first, but only at the top of the international league table of death. Yet the president, for months, played down the dangers.
This is like a flu. I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
And then he too was struck down. But within days, he was out of hospital. There was a carefully choreographed return to the White House and a renewed burst of energy. The billionaire who championed the common man, the president still playing the part of an outsider.
When we win, America wins.
To liberals, Trump was an aberration, a serial liar. But to millions, he remains an American hero who understood their hopes and fears better than any mere politician. John Ray, ITV News.
Won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite history.
At the end of the video with this, and may you leave your comment below. May you tell me what you think concerning this messy, broken English. Like I did try to change a lot of things like before. I didn't want to play video for a long time, but this time I believe so. Would like to see me more, so now make me they won't come out more. You know, this day they always they play video, they relax. So messy broken English now, I think c'est a special one for me. Now so I think may you tell me your opinion concerning messy broken. And before we go come out, I will want to say shout out now for the people when they say leave comment for messy broken. So now the people then do this. The first message go for Sobo. Sobo, thank you so much for the message you left. Sobo said, good, thank you, well, good. That was what Sobo said. Oh, yeah. Good, thank you, well, good. Thank you so much, Sobo, and I really appreciate you for watching. Will I say Netherlands because Sobo does not speak English. Sobo is one of my colleagues from work, and he has been supportive. Sobo always watch my video when I upload video, and he leave this comment. So Sobo, ik wil zeggen, dank je wel voor de bericht die je had gelaten. Ik ben heel blij, heel bedankt en groetjes naar uw kinderen. And the second comment is also Sobo again. Sobo watched this video plenty time and he come back again and give another comment. Sobo, ik heb de tweede bericht gezien die je hebt gelaten. Je hebt gezegd, goed, dankjewel. Dat betekent dat je komt naar mijn kanaal, dat je kijkt mijn video altijd. Heel bedankt. Hè? Good. Dankjewel, Sobo. So, the other one is, let me see who is the next one. The next one is Pen Cover Comedy. Pen Cover Comedy, I just want to tell you thank you for leaving a comment in Messy Broken English. This is Messy Broken English. Messy Broken English not supposed to talk correct English. Okay, I just want to tell you thank you. Say you leave comments. I beg Mona check and heart. I really appreciate you. Subscribe to Pen Cover Comedy if you like the channel. Now Pen Cover Comedy be this. And the other one, the next one, the person name now Sankin. Well, I call your name well, Sankin. And Sankin say, hello, you are very beautiful, very good to support back. And fourth, thanks. Thank you so much. Say you come watch Messy Broken English. I really appreciate. Make una subscribe to the channel. So I don't see another comment. And this other comments when the person leave. Lynn, Lim say, amazing job. Keep it up. Stay thirsty. SD. Whoa, that one a nice comment. Thank you so much, Lim. I appreciate you say you come watch Mercy Broken English. Make una follow Lim and subscribe to Lim channel. So the other comment now, Goodness Baby 77 TV channel. May I repeat? Goodness Baby 77 TV channel. Now I don't leave this wonderful comment. It say amazing contest and great entertainment. Beautiful lady, keep it up. Thank you so much. Make una follow the channel and subscribe to the channel. We will see the next one. So the next shout out go to Slim Michelle. Slim Michelle says, hey sis, nice shouts out. Thanks for shouting my page. Appreciate. I really appreciate Slim Michelle. And if you guys don't know Slim Michelle, this is who she is. You can check her out and follow her and subscribe to her channel. Thank you so much, Slim Michelle. And also, like I said, I'm very happy that you are able to come and watch Mercy Broken English, and God bless you. Mimi TV. This is Mimi TV Belgium. So if you guys have not heard about this name before, Mimi TV lives in Belgium and in Antwerp, and she's from Mechelen or Ghent. Sorry, I don't know which one, but I just want to give shout out to you and tell you thank you when you take on watch my video, when you take on subscribe to Mercy channel, and I really appreciate. And Mimi TV said, oh my God, may his soul rest in peace. So the Mimi TV channel be this. Make una subscribe to her channel and also follow her. So the other message for shout out, it goes to Tanyong Wubong. Tanyong Wubong, I just want to say thank you. I want to tell you thank you for the support when you take subscribe to my channel, and also when you take come watch my video and leave message. And I really appreciate. And the message when he leave, he say she is amazing. I love her show so much. Whoa, I really appreciate. Thank you. So my channel be this. If you don't know him before, may you check him out so that you feel subscribe to the channel, follow him up. Thank you. This next shout out goes to Grace for Living. Wow, Grace for Living, I really appreciate say you come Mercy Broken English. Thank you so much, and for the wonderful message when be say you live. Grace for Living leave message. You say, how are you doing, my beautiful sister Mercy? Your program is amazing. Wow, the quality of it alone is incredible. Good. Please continue to bless us and advise us. We love you so much, sis. The halam can be helpful, but sometimes our body is very tired too. Okay, you know what? You know what she they try to talk about. You remember, say, for Mercy Broken English as 7, I talk about how I take tired, say I no feel wake up. And I just, when the alarm for 6 o'clock reach, I say make I sleep reach 6:30. So now wait till she they try to talk. I see say you watch that place well. Thank you for your comments. Continue. The message never finished because the message long go well. He say, I love the beautiful red dresses, lady in red. Oh, you are right. That dress, you know, say the way I talk and I say I be almost late, so I don't get choice. I just take that dress. I say I don't care whether I don't fair wear that dress before. I go wear it again so that I don't go late for work. 1 point. Thank you, Grace for Mercy. And also, the message never finished. It's still long. May we continue again. No. You know, say I don't call your name now, Grace for Mercy, in place of Grace for Living. When I say now, me won't change your name, Grace for Mercy. Grace from Living to Grace for Living. Because my name na Mercy, that make me just put that Mercy. Like I say, I love that name well, but the name na my name, but I dey enjoy my own name. So may we read further again. He say, awesome shout out, sis. And I'm speechless, sis. I am forever grateful, sis. We love you, sis. Many blessings. Wow. Now the last comment we did see. You see the way I hold my heart. Thank you so much, sister, for the comment when you leave. I'm also grateful. I really did happy saying you did always follow me. You know, say I supposed to put video on Sunday, but the video, the editing not finish on Sunday, then make me put on. Okay, I supposed to put on Sunday, not finish, I can't put on Monday, but even you they post on Sunday also, you still come on Monday again. You still come after then again, come still leave comments. That was yesterday. Thank you. So now the channel be this. Make una subscribe to her channel and may you follow her. She did talk about prayer, she did pray, she did talk the word of God. I feel you call her woman of God. So may una check her out. The next one go to Tinalaye TV. Tinalaye TV. She's a beautiful woman. She have a great channel. I don't enter correct English. Tinalaye TV, na fine woman. She get nice channel. So if una don't know who she be, na she be this. Wanna try follow her. Wanna see what she dey do. And also the comment when we say she leave, the comment means say George death is so sad and painful. That word when she talk, it really talk well. And this George death, the way it touch everybody, all over the world, everybody they demonstrate because of the death of George. And really very painful. And he said, God is watching, no justice, no peace. This is getting worse day by day. This comment really dey powerful. Thank you for leaving a powerful comment for George, and also may he rest in peace. May George rest in peace. And thank you for subscribing to my channel, and also thank you for always passing by. God bless you, Sister Tinalaye. So let's go to the next. The last comment is Marvelous Sweet 411. Marvelous Sweet 411. I'm happy to. Please, can I continue? You guys should sorry for the noise of the children. So the last comment goes to Marvelous Sweet 411. Marvelous Sweet 411. I just want to thank you. I just want to appreciate you for taking your time. I won't tell you thank you. I won't appreciate you. Now, Mercy Broken English with this. Say you take your time. Come support Mercy Broken English. Subscribe to Mercy Broken English. I really appreciate you. God will bless you. So now the channel be this. So Mona try follow her. Mona check and help. Mona subscribe to the channel. May we hear the message when you leave for Mercy Broken English. Marvelous Sweet 411 say, I am happy to see that you are showing love, shouting out your friends here on YouTube. Appreciate that. That is very good, my sister. Oh, Thank you for that wonderful comment when you leave. I really appreciate me also, even for you to come my channel, you know. After all these years, you still come my channel. Thank you. God bless you. And before I go end this video, I just want to tell una say thank everyone who get a time to watch this Mercy Broken English. So if you never subscribe to Mercy Broken English, you know, you won't miss this fantastic video when we say I dey upload every week. Try to subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to put the notification bell, because now that bell you will know whenever I upload video on YouTube. And also, thank you for joining. If you never join, don't forget to join Mercy Broken English. And when I know it's I go to end Mercy Broken English. Now my music, Mercy Broken English. Mercy Broken English. Mercy Broken English. What you say? Mercy Broken English. Subscribe. Subscribe. I don't put that one as sugar when I always say hard. Subscribe. Okay. Mercy Broken English. So now I will tell now. Bye bye. See you now for next video. Mercy Broken English. Mercy Broken English. Come hours. Come hours. Come hours. Come hours. Mercy Broken English. Mercy Broken English. Mercy Broken English. Come hours. Come hours. Come hours.